All right, Dev with Crime Hive, and we're picking back up with the podcast. And I know it's been a little while, but I want to come out with a new series called How They Were Caught. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from the viewers and everybody that's following me on social media. So we're gonna test this out, y'all. We're gonna see how this goes. And depending on this, I may be able to start doing this multiple times a week. And we'll just see how things go. So this case that we're going to talk about today is really around an individual named Bill Mussack, and it takes place in December of 2017. And he's a retired veteran, and he's at home. He lives in Federal Heights, Colorado. And things are going well for him. He has a normal life. Doesn't seem like there's anything out of the norm. But his brother was unable to reach him for the last 2 weeks, and so he calls 911. He's concerned. He wants a welfare check done because it's not like his brother to not be able to communicate with him after 2 weeks. That's a long time for anybody, really, to just vanish. And so police decide to come out. They learn that his daughter, Dayna Mussack, is at the house and lives at the house. Before we pick up with police getting to the residence and talking with Dayna, who again is Bill's daughter, let's back up a little bit. We want to understand a little bit more about Dayna, because this is about Dayna as a suspect and how she was caught. So I want to give some more context here before police get involved with this welfare check. So Dayna has a massage business, and so she's working for herself now, and she's struggling financially. She's not doing the greatest, and she's had a handful of marriages and divorces, and so she's kind of had a roller coaster life and lifestyle. And so she's kind of bounced back and forth, living with her father Bill. She ends up befriending someone at her massage therapy practice, and this person was named Larsa Rayburn. And Larsa has some issues with her husband, and she is not really able to be as intimate with her husband. So it's been causing some issues in their relationship. And so Dayna one day, out of the blue, just says, she could help. She could help her friend Larsa. And she proposes this really strange idea that essentially she could be sexually intimate with her husband to help out. Larsa did in fact make a deal with her husband that if she ever was unable to be physically intimate with him, that he could see other partners as long as there was no emotional attachment involved. And so Dayna had offered this up, but her friend Larsa declined. She declined the offer. No hard feelings. She would still continue to see Larsa. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is this particular set of circumstances kind of leads up to Bill being missing, and you'll hear why. You'll understand why there's a connection here with this particular story. So continuing on, after the strange encounter with her friend, now in 2013, this is 4 years before Bill goes missing, apparently, with this welfare check. So in 2013, Larsa was given a potion from Dayna. Dayna has been experimenting with different potions. There's THC that's now in Colorado, and she's looking to implement it into her massage practice. And so she gives Larsa this potion, and Larsa ingests the potion, and the effects were immediately bad. She starts panicking. She believed she was poisoned, and so she ends up going to the ER, and this turns into quite a series of events because she goes from the ER to a psych ward on a 3-day hold, where she has to be there because doctors are thinking that this may be a mental health issue. And the husband, her husband, Larsa's husband, actually had something to do with this, and had actually gone to the hospital with a suitcase full of medicine bottles to prove that she was a drug addict, and wanted her to stay in that hospital for 3 days. And here's why. When Larsa returns back from the hospital, her husband, his name is Carl, he's gone. He's moved his stuff out, took her passport, their cash. He takes his son's passport, their son's passport. And there's this strange 3-page letter that's just placed on the piano. What was odd is Larsa noticed that her name was misspelled, and that this letter resembled a letter from Dayna, because she was an accountant. Larsa was an accountant, and she helped Dayna out with some books and things like that. So she recognized this particular letter as being very similar to Dayna when Dayna was trying to get guardianship over supervised visits with her children and that sort of thing. So very similar letter. Dayna was apparently appointed as a legal guardian in this letter, and that Larsa was only going to receive supervised visits. So why am I telling you all this? Well, it appears that Dayna has literally taken her husband, and that in fact was the case. Her husband actually marries Dayna and leaves Larsa. For many different reasons, but one of those being the physical intimacy issues. And so Dayna effectively steals her friend's partner. Okay, and this is important because you're starting to see the mindset of this woman. She does not care about those who are close to her, and she's very manipulative, and she's willing to do some outlandish things to get her way for control, and essentially poisons her friend. Who knows what could have happened with that? She could have died from that poison. She didn't, because she was able to get to the ER and get treatment. But Dayna moves in with Bill later on, with her new husband Carl now. And Carl, though he made some strange decisions himself to leave his wife, be with Dayna, he realizes just how crazy this woman is, how crazy Dayna is, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with her, no part in her life, and so he leaves. Larsa, the friend, ended up moving out of the country to get away. She was able to take her son. She ended up getting custody back with her son, and she fled to another country. That's how scared she was of this whole situation. And so she's no longer in the picture. But now you've got Dayna back at home, not a lot of money coming in, and she's living with her father Bill. Now she starts treating her father Bill to massages, and she's experimenting with these different potions and these different concoctions that she's making. So now let's fast forward back to 2017, this welfare check. So police show up, and it's December 28th, 2017, and Dayna answers the door, and she's pretty nonchalant about the whole situation. She says that her father doesn't really live there very much, and he'll kind of come and go every few weeks and, maybe pick up some mail and pay the rent, and had lost his phone recently, but that she believed that he was fine, and that she had made contact with him recently. So police really don't investigate further, but they're on alert because family members continue to call about not being able to find Bill, and they're not in touch with Bill. So the next day, on December 29th, the police again show up to check on Bill and see if he's been located. And now Dayna adds to this story. She says that, he had lost his cell phone, but he was out in the mountains with a girlfriend, and that he'd been spending some time with multiple girlfriends who were younger than him, and he was just having a good time in life. And, police ask if they can go in and just check, make sure that he's not hiding from anybody, or that he doesn't have any medical emergencies or anything of that nature. So the officer goes in, and he smells quite a strange odor. And Dayna, quick to come up with excuses and that sort of thing, she says that it's just sewage in the house. The officer checks, he goes down into the basement, and he doesn't see anything, but he's got his spidey senses really going now. He's kind of suspicious. He doesn't quite believe Dayna, and it strikes him odd that she's acting so normal about potentially her missing father. And so he doesn't really have anything to go off of, though. So he leaves. And then the next day, on the 30th, he comes by again. And again, they want to verify the location of Bill. And she says that he came by yesterday and picked up his cell phone, and he paid his rent. And so now she's adding more to this story, and this is actually causing more red flags for police. And so what that prompts them to do is request an emergency ping on Bill's phone. So what this ping does is it can find out to a pretty good degree what location he's in with that phone, if he's with his phone, or at least where the phone is actually located. Well, the ping comes back to the same area that it's been in Federal Heights, Colorado. So it never left. It never went into the mountains. It's just been in that same area. So then police start to check for Bill's bank records and activity, and they find some unusual activity going on there. They see large sums of money being sent to Dayna's massage business. Okay, so now they're getting really suspicious. So they decide to interview Dayna formally, and this is on January 10th, 2018. So they bring her to the police station. Meanwhile, they already have a search warrant to search her home, okay? So while they're interviewing her, police locate a crawl space in the basement, okay? And it's kind of an odd crawl space because it looks like it's been kind of hidden, clothing and items and various items have been kind of placed in front of this area. And they notice a bag of concrete, new concrete. So it's actually fresh concrete in the basement. And, they continue to dig around this fresh concrete. And because it was so fresh, they were actually able to go through underneath the concrete. They actually located a body. This ended up being Bill. So police quickly arrest Dayna for concealing a dead body. That's all they have at the moment, but they want to talk to her about, this potential foul play, this potential murder, right? And during this entire interview, she's still not concerned about her father. And she's even asking questions like, does he have to be found? Does my father need to be found? Police, they quickly realize is that with all their investigative techniques and the way they've interviewed even hardened criminals, she never buckled. She just acted so normal throughout the whole interview. And they found that just pretty disturbing. It just kind of shows, the police are dealing with a potential psychopath, right? Somebody with antisocial personality disorder and just not a care in the world. So police continue to investigate what actually happened to Bill, and they discovered something pretty disturbing. They learned that Dayna on her phone had been searching for azaprazoline, and this is an animal tranquilizer prescription. And though you need a prescription, they learned that Dayna was able to somehow purchase this on eBay without a prescription, and she did this in November. So in early December, she starts massaging her father with this new mix of lotion or this potion that she's concocted. So police, through their investigation, they believe that she used this liquid vial through that gets in through the skin and most likely poisoned him with this animal tranquilizer, and that his heart and his entire system eventually would stop working and he would die. He would pass away, and that she would wrap him in a tarp and take him to the basement, where she would then go out to the store, which she was caught on camera at a local store buying concrete. And so, through credit card records and camera records, they were able to confirm that. And wow, and then what happens next. And that was how she was caught. Now, I'm going to continue to do more of these stories, these true crime stories. And if you guys have any feedback about these, please let me know. Please connect with me on social media. You can find me on I'm definitely active on TikTok with Crime Hive, and Instagram with Crime Hive now is the username. And definitely going to be doing more of these. So the main focus again with these is, yes, I'm going to give you some context on the story. Not going to give you so many details that don't really apply to this series of how they were caught. But I definitely think it's important to give you some context on who these people are, what the situation is with them, and then ultimately what leads to their capture. That's the focus of this. And so please let me know your thoughts. I will be back with another episode, and we'll see y'all soon. Take care.